Combination Vehicle Practice Test. Questions and answers. When should you use the hand valve to park a combination vehicle? A. To park at loading docks. B. Never. C. To park on a grade. D. Every time. The answer? B. Never. A fully loaded rig is blank times more likely to roll over in a crash than an empty rig. A. 5, B. 10, C. 15, D. 20. The answer? B. 10. Which type of truck-trailer combination has the greatest chance of a crack-the-whip rollover? A. A tractor pulling 2 trailers. B. A single tractor trailer. C. A tractor pulling 3 trailers. D. They all have the same chance of a crack-the-whip rollover. The answer? C. A tractor pulling 3 trailers. After you lock the kingpin into the 5th wheel, you should check the connection by pulling A. Forward 50 feet, then turning right, and then left. B. The tractor ahead gently with trailer. C. The tractor ahead sharply to release the trailer brakes. D. Backward about 10 feet. The answer? B. After you lock the kingpin into the 5th wheel, you should check the connection by pulling the tractor ahead gently with trailer. What is the other name for the shut-off valves? A. Relay valves. B. Trailer protection valve. C. Emergency valves. D. Cut-out cocks. The answer? D. Cut-out cocks. What is the first thing you should do to prevent a trailer skid? A. Step on the brakes hard several times to stop the skid. B. Use the trailer handbrake. C. Recognize that a skid has started to occur in the mirrors. D. Maintain a constant speed to adjust the truck and trailer in a smooth fashion. The answer? D. Maintain a constant speed to adjust the truck and trailer in a smooth fashion. You should not use the trailer hand valve while driving because A. You should use the parking brake. B. It won't work as well as a foot brake. C. Of the danger of making the trailer skid. D. You could lose the trailer. The answer? C. Of the danger of making the trailer skid. When following behind other vehicles, you should follow A. At least 1 second for every 20 feet of your vehicle length. B. At least 2 seconds for every 10 feet of your vehicle length. C. At least 2 seconds for every 10 feet of your vehicle length, plus 1 second if going over 50 miles per hour. D. At least 1 second for every 10 feet of your vehicle length, plus 1 second if going over 40 miles per hour. The answer? D. At least 1 second for every 10 feet of your vehicle length, plus 1 second if going over 40 miles per hour. A trailer jackknife is likely to happen when A. The trailer has a high center of gravity. B. The wheels of the trailer lock up. C. The front drive wheels lose traction. D. There is too much weight on the steering axles. The answer? B. The wheels of the trailer lock up. What is the emergency airline? A. It is an airline that controls the tractor protection valve and emergency valves. B, it is an air line that is connected to the relay valve to help send air pressure to the trailer air brakes. C, it is an air line that supplies air to trailer air tanks and controls emergency brakes. D, it is an air line that connects the trailer air tanks to the trailer air brakes. The answer? C, it is an air line that supplies air to trailer air tanks and controls emergency brakes. What is the fastest and best way to recognize that your trailer has started to skid? A, feeling your steering wheel shake. B, listening for the distinctive skidding sound. C, seeing it in your mirrors. D, feeling your vehicle pull to the side. The answer? C, seeing it in your mirrors. If your trailer begins to skid, you should A, maintain light pressure on your brakes until the trailer straightens out. B, release your brakes until the trailer wheels grip the road again. C, turn the steering wheel in the direction of the skid. D, apply the trailer handbrake to straighten out the trailer. The answer? B, release your brakes until the trailer wheels grip the road again. Which type of vehicle is harder to control while stopping? A, larger combination vehicles that have no cargo in the trailers. B, larger vehicles with no trailers. C, larger combination vehicles with loaded trailers. D, none of these motorized vehicles all stop at the same rate. The answer? A, larger combination vehicles that have no cargo in the trailers. When hoses are not in use, why should the trailer glad hands be locked together or attached to dead end or dummy couplers? A, to prevent mix up the emergency and service lines. B, to keep the air supply clean. C, to keep the air supply regulated. D, to prevent a loss of air pressure. The answer? B, to keep the air supply clean. On older trailers, what will happen if the emergency and service air lines are crossed? A, nothing will happen. They are designed to be interchangeable. B, the trailer's brake springs will release. C, water and oil will build up in the air tanks. D, you could drive away, but you will not have trailer brakes. The answer? D, you could drive away, but you will not have trailer brakes. What causes the crack the whip effect? A, changing lanes too quickly and suddenly. B, driving too fast at turns and curves. C, none of these. The crack the whip effect does not occur in a combination vehicle. D, rearward amplification. The answer? D, rearward amplification. You should not back a tractor under a trailer until the whole air system is A, at normal pressure. B, blend down to half the maximum pressure. C, between 60 and 80 psi. D, cleaned. The answer? A, at normal pressure. What should you do to prevent the crack the whip effect? A, change lanes quickly to avoid the crack the whip effect. B, drive fast so that you have no chance of causing the crack the whip effect. C, stay close to the rear of the car in front of you so you can make sure your driving is smooth to avoid hitting the car in front. D, steer gently and smoothly when pulling trailers. The answer? D. Steer gently and smoothly when pulling trailers. What is the best way to prevent a rollover? A. Place the cargo as close to the ground as possible and drive slowly at turns. B. Put all the cargo in the center of the trailer. C. Put all the cargo anywhere you see fit and drive at normal speeds at turns. D. Put all the cargo on one side of the trailer and drive at posted speeds at turns. The answer? A. Place the cargo as close to the ground as possible and drive slowly at turns. What is off-tracking? A. When truck trailers swing from side to side. B. Swerving on the road when you lose control of your steering. C. Driving your truck off the road. D. When the rear wheels go a different path from the front wheels. The answer? D. When the rear wheels go a different path from the front wheels. On the trailer airlines of combination vehicles, the service line connects to the blank on the trailer to control the pressure of the trailer brakes. A. Glad hands. B. Trailer hand valve. C. Relay valves. D. Tractor protection valve control. The answer? C. Relay valves. What does the tractor protection valve do? A. It protects the truck from skidding. B. It's another name for the trailer emergency brakes which let out air of the tractor emergency line. C. It keeps air out of the truck. D. It keeps air in the truck. The answer? D. It keeps air in the truck. When does the tractor protection valve close automatically? A. It does not close automatically. You need to close the valve yourself. B. When the air pressure is high and reaches 45 to 60 psi. C. When the air pressure is low and ranges from 25 psi to 40 psi. D. When the air pressure is low and reaches 30 psi to 55 psi. The answer? C. When the air pressure is low and ranges from 25 psi to 40 psi. What are the two trailer air lines that every combination vehicle has? A. Emergency valve and service line. B. The service line and emergency line. C. Air supply line and emergency line. D. Tractor air supply and tractor protection valve. The answer? B. The service line and emergency line. What is the purpose of the service line? A. The service line connects the trailer to the truck. B. The service line supplies air to the air tanks. C. The service line is controlled by the foot brake or trailer hand brake and it carries air. D. The service line controls foot brakes or trailer hand brakes. The answer? C. The service line is controlled by the foot brake or trailer hand brake and it carries air. What are the other names for the service line? A. Control line and air supply. B. Control line and signal line. C. Signal line and emergency line. D. Air pressure line and signal line. The answer? B. Control line and signal line. What are glad hands? A coupling device that connects the service line and emergency line from a truck to the trailer. B. Devices that are used to supply air to the trailer air tanks. C. Devices that are used to fix service and emergency air lines. D. Devices that are used to connect the service air line and the relay valve. The answer? A. Coupling devices that connect the service line and emergency line from a truck to the trailer. What is the emergency air line? A, it is an air line that controls the tractor protection valve and emergency valves. B, it is an air line that is connected to the relay valves to help send air pressure to the trailer brakes. C, it is an air line that supplies air to trailer air tanks and controls emergency brakes. D, it is an air line that connects the trailer air tanks to the trailer air brakes. The answer? C, it is an air line that supplies air to trailer air tanks and controls emergency brakes. What does the trailer hand valve do? A, it is a valve used to activate the parking brakes. B, it is used in place of the foot brakes in emergencies. C, it is a valve that should be activated during driving. D, it tests the trailer brakes. The answer, D, it tests the trailer brakes. How many times should you drain the air tanks? A, monthly. B, every other day. C, once a week. D, every day. The answer, D, every day. What is the first step to coupling tractor semi-trailers? A, inspect area and chalk wheels. B, inspect the fifth wheel. C, secure the tractor. D, position the tractor in front of the trailer. The answer, B, inspect the fifth wheel. Which of the following is the best action you could take when the parking brakes don't release? A, change the service and emergency airline connections because they are broken. B, check the airline connections. C, report it to a supervisor at your earliest convenience. D, don't use the spring brakes for any reason. The answer? B, check the airline connections. What are trailer air tanks used for? A, to supply air pressure to the trailer brakes. B, to indicate how much air pressure is used on the trailer brakes. C, to keep oil and water out of the service and emergency airlines. D, to add more air to tires. The answer? A, to supply air pressure to the trailer brakes. What consideration should be made when you park a trailer that doesn't have spring brakes? A, use air pressure from the trailer air tanks. B, remove emergency airline. C, use wheel chocks. D, use the emergency brakes. The answer? C, use wheel chocks. Which shutoff valve should remain closed? A, all shutoff valves should be closed. B, all shutoff valves should be open. C, only the valves on the back of the first trailer should be closed. D, the valves on the back of the last trailer should remain closed. The answer? D, the valves on the back of the last trailer should remain closed. When doing an inspection, which of the following would best describe a working landing gear? A, secure to the frame. B, fully raised and not bent. C, greased well. D, none of these. The answer? B, fully raised and not bent. What is the second step to coupling tractor semi-trailers? A, back out slowly until the fifth wheel touches the trailer. B, inspect the area and chalk the wheels. C, check the trailer height. D, supply air to the trailer. The answer? B, inspect the area and chalk the wheels. What happens if the trailer height is too high? A, it doesn't matter if the trailer is too high. B, the tractor may strike and damage the trailer's nose. C, the spring brakes will not work properly. D, the trailer may not couple correctly. The answer? D, the trailer may not couple correctly. What is the third step to coupling tractor semi-trailers? A, connect air lines to the trailer. B, lock the trailer brakes. C, secure the tractor. D, position the tractor. The answer, D, position the tractor.